Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Anime Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Matt, alongside with my other host, Lance, and we got our good friend, John, with us today.
Hey, guys.
Thank you for joining us, John. It's been a minute. I'm glad you could join us.
Honestly, yeah. What did you guys say? It was like 2 months?
Something like that. Vinland Saga. Season
Vinland
1 was
Saga,
the last one. So
2.
When are we doing season 2?
We did 2.
No, we didn't.
No.
We definitely have not.
We have not done season 2.
We haven't.
No.
Trust me, I'd be sitting here with a... never mind.
No, you're right. It's just that we've... Vinland Saga Season 3 has been in the news, so I'm like, yeah, of course we did Season 2. No, we fucking haven't. All right, so that's in the near future.
And they just announced season 3, didn't...
Yeah,
that's
I'm
right.
pretty sure I showed you guys the...
By the time this releases, I guess you could semi-recently have talked about season 3, yes.
I mean, I'm talking about it now. Anyways, this is about what anime again?
Gatchiakuta.
I knew that.
Oh, you gotta say it a little bit more Japanese. Gatchiakuta.
Yeah, I can't do that. Oh.
We haven't been pre-gaming, I swear, you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of pre-gaming, let's get into our adult beverages of choice. Lance, what do you got?
So, obviously, we've gone through quite a few different things. Today, I'm drinking some 45th Parallel Wisconsin Wheated. It's a straight wheat whiskey. It's going down real smooth. And on the side, I have a Hinterland Packerland Pilsner. What about you, Matt? What are you drinking?
I am drinking a classic kind of some Journymans Distillery Featherbone whiskey. I feel like it's been forever since I've had any of this, and I'm going to need a refill soon. And then I'm also drinking some Wisconsinitis cream ale. I'm also going to need a refill on that one. John, what about you?
I'm drinking horse... No, I'm just kidding. I believe... What was it? You had given me some... the old-fashioned mix?
Yeah, it was an old-fashioned mix. No idea what it's called.
Fair enough. It is actually really fucking good.
Yeah, it was a pre-mix, so it was ready to drink out of the bottle. It was like what you got from Costco, you said?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo Trace pre-mix stuff.
That's right, Buffalo Trace, yes. And then it was old-fashioned, like kind of like a pre-mix type thing. And then I was chasing it down with some New Glarus Brewing Company Spotted Cow, but I'm kind of looking forward to whatever you guys are going to offer up next, because...
We got options.
Yeah.
Yeah, down here, there's, you almost got like 20 options.
I see 5, but 6?
Well, I know, there's stuff on the side, outside this room.
Yeah,
Matt has stuff on the wall.
We got stuff in the bar. We got options.
Mm-hmm.
We also have stuff on the floor that nobody wants to drink except for Lance.
I didn't even notice the stuff on the floor. What the hell?
Yeah, Matt cleaned off the table a little bit, so...
Yeah, I did some...
The table was never dirty. What are you talking about?
Just some remodeling, and but the stuff that Lance put on the floor that he only drinks when he Ubers home.
Yeah, you want some Yamato Japanese whiskey? It's probably one of the worst whiskeys we've ever had. It's been sitting here for like over 2 years.
Something like that.
Hey, it might taste good now. A little bit of aging.
Aging only works inside barrels.
I mean... Fair, but
yeah, with our pre-gaming, this might go down like water.
Yeah, that's
true. To be honest, yeah, you might not be wrong there.
We'll find out, I guess. If Lance has to Uber home, we'll know why.
Maybe.
I can't wait to hear that conversation between the Uber driver and Lance on the way home.
Unfortunately, we didn't have a Beyblade battle because Lance had to take it home. So because of that, he is the honorary synopsis person for today.
Right. So today we are going to be covering season 1 of Gatchiakuta, and we're just going to take the easy road from here and go right off of Google AI. And they say Gatchiakuta follows Rudo, a boy living in the slums of a floating city who despises the wasteful elite that throws people and trash into a massive dump called the Abyss. After his foster father is murdered, Rudo is framed and thrown into the Abyss, where he discovers monstrous creatures made of trash and joins the Cleaners, a group of outcasts who fight these beasts with special weapons called jinkis. That's probably the Japanese. they're really called Jinkies?
I was about to say, I don't think they ever mentioned that.
Maybe that's what the...
In the manga, it's called Jinkies.
I was going to say, maybe in the manga.
Oh, fair.
I was going to say, I kind of like this. What were they called in English?
It was,
It's in my nose.
No, I'm pretty sure it was like, not favored objects, but it was like, vital instruments.
The manga does call them Jinkies.
Yep, that's understandable. Or to us, dub listeners, vital instruments. And he seeks revenge and to find a way to escape and get back to the sphere. That's the synopsis.
Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Mm-hmm. AI never fails.
Something like, yeah. Lance, I am curious. What do you have for today's Lance's lessons?
Teach me.
So let's do a little bit of extra learning today because I'm sure plenty of us are kind of interested in the title Gatchiakuta. So let's just play with that just in general. So got lots of noises. So the Japanese word for today is going to be the Japanese word for trash. Japanese word for trash is gomi. Gomi is spelled Gomi. And obviously Gomi is related because we're talking about trash today. But let's take this to the next level. Gatchiakuta loosely translate to legit trash, where gachi translates to like genuine or legit, which is where the legit trash comes from, and akta kind of meaning trash or garbage. So akta or gomi kind of go hand in hand in that sense. So you can take either or. So that's what today's Lance's Lessons is going to be today.
So gomi means trash, and then akta also means trash.
That's what I'm reading.
They do have multiple meanings for things. Is
rubbish, garbage. Yeah, just
sure.
Yeah.
On Google, does it? I wonder. I need to look at this. I wonder if it's written in like hiragana or katakana.
The two smart people are
katakana.
looking at it at least.
Yeah, it's written in katakana.
Yeah, I know what that means.
It's the more formal.
Listen, I took 1 year of Japanese class. Somehow, in my school of 500 kids, they offered Japanese. Don't ask me how that ever played out, but yeah, the most I ever learned was like some of the writing style. It was hiragana, katakana, and then kanji. And kanji, don't even ask me, but yeah.
Right? Yes. I know all of these things.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's today's Lance's Lessons. Gatchiakuta, just it's legit trash. Doesn't necessarily reflect on the anime itself.
I promise you, nobody is going to say anything if you're saying it as Gatchiakuta. Yeah.
A lot of Americans might say like what we started saying until we, grew up. a lot of people might have said Gatchiakuta. It's Gatchiakuta.
Yes. If you listen to any of the interviews with the mangaka, she says Gatchiakuta, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's how you're supposed to say it. Sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, I came from school of 500 kids, so I pronounced it Gatchiakuta, but...
yeah, no, that's fair. That's the American coming out of us. What it comes from, a lot of Japanese, that U is very sketchy.
Yeah.
In Gatchiakuta, it's almost silent, but it's almost forgotten. So let's just go with that one.
Again, nobody's going to say anything otherwise. Say it either way. Whatever makes sense to you, say it, and we'll go with there. Right. We know what you're talking about.
100%.
In the end, we're all fans. That's why you listeners are here. So let's skip over this now and continue on with what we have next, which is Matt. Do we have any differences between the anime and the manga? NANI?
Yes. Easiest way to think about it. Pretty much everything that happens, it gets elongated. A good example is like towards the end when one of the raiders and then the two cleaners are riding in the car, getting away from the trash beast, essentially, not intentionally getting away from the trash beast, but driving away from the trash beast. And like almost half of the entire segment that happens is elongated so that like the guy using his arms. Undis. Yeah. Gundis? I think it was
Bundes.
Bundes. Yes.
That's a badass.
Basically, like half of the things that he does is extra as far as the manga is concerned. And just stuff like that. Basically, if there's a way to elongate something, they found a way to do it. If you want to read where season 1 leaves off, it's on chapter 87. The part where...
That's a lot of chapters for one season.
Yeah, well, it's 24 episodes, so it's not too crazy.
Not too crazy, but it is still a handful.
Amo, you don't see that, like, kind of extra part at the end of the last episode of season 1.
You don't see her getting attacked?
You don't see her imprisoned. Basically, what happens is the last, like, the cliffhanger part where you find out what Rudo's last name is, that continues. So basically you get that section and then it continues on chapter 88. Let me rephrase that. So on chapter 88, it starts with the leader of the cleaners. I'm trying to blank on his name. Corvus. Mm-hmm. Basically, he is, I didn't read too much into it. He is relaxing from the meeting with the Red Devils, and the ending of that meeting is what's happening on chapter 88. Rudo is like, hey, that's my last name, or this is what my full name is. And then it goes into Corvus on the next chapter. Just like when Corvus is like, no, I'm not going to hand you Rudo, that part, he doesn't distinctly say that, but it's pretty given. Like he kind of, the whole tone of him being very like anti the Red Devils, just questioning what they're doing. Same concept. So it's obvious that he's not going to give up Rudo. That isn't distinctly said, but it is implied. This is something I might have missed, but the guy who killed Regto had a book with the Watchmen series on it. It had the logo on it.
Interesting.
So it's kind of like he's running away with a book, and that book has the Watchmen series on it.
You know, low key, honestly, I didn't even think about that. Like, how could...
It's so early in the series.
Yeah, you wouldn't... It might have been there, but you wouldn't know it at the time.
Right.
Well, what I was going to say, too, though, is, like, I didn't even think about, like, something like a book being used as a vital instrument, right?
Yeah,
like, that could be... Because, I mean, only having watched the anime, like, you know, you see people wearing gloves, you got, like... you know, small accessories like an umbrella, there's, you know, scissors, like things like that. I'm not thinking about like a book or this man's using literature as a vital instrument. Like,
well, it's also the Watchmen series. So we have an idea of what that is. Not at that time, but we're like towards the end of the series, you're like, or at least as far as season 1, you're like, okay, the Watchmen series could be anything. It could have any sort of vital instrument. It could give you any sort of ability. So how is this connected? It's a good, like, oh shit, this is important kind of moment.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I will preface this with, I might have missed it in the anime. It might have been there. At least in the manga, they make a distinct panel that shows it off. Okay. Like they're trying to foreshadow something in the future.
Okay. Yeah.
I love me some foreshadowing.
Too quick in the first episode. Like everything's so goddamn brand new. You're not going to pull any seeds on your first watch. So that's crazy.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. They do show how all the safe zones are connected. Basically, they kind of like safe zone, arrows, safe zone. They make it more apparent. In the anime, they kind of make it more topographical, where it's like, hey, here's all your safe zones, here all your zone. It's here nor there. There's not a whole lot of differences, so I'm kind of grasping at things at this point. Mm-hmm. One thing, they swear all the time. All the time. Basically, every time Rudo talks, he is swearing. He is saying something that he does swear in the anime, but it is tenfold in the manga. We also have to remember he's like 15. Mm-hmm. he's very much 15 in the manga. This is also something I might have missed. Everybody's items, Jinky, have names. I don't know if they said everybody's names in the anime. Engines is Umbreki, so just kind of a play on umbrella. Zonka's is Love Stick. Those are the two funny ones.
For Zonka, I feel like he called it Assist Staff, but that could have been another play on words for another kind of thing.
Yeah, it might have just been a translation thing too.
Sure.
Yeah.
As we know from Gatchiakuta, we have multiple translations for the same thing. So it's just kind of been a one person translated to this, while it could have also meant this as well.
Not gonna lie, I love the love stick thing.
Love Stick is fantastic. It's funny.
That's great.
They give a tease with being at the top of the tower with Amo, and then Engine falling on his face. So basically one chapter ends with Engine falling on his face, and then they go back to show how they got to the point where they get to Amo. So it's just kind of more of a...
I'll stop you there. That's what the anime did.
Okay.
Exactly what you're saying. He falls, and then the next episode is just the rewind, and they do the actual rewind. Yeah. And he was like, "Why did you fall on your face?"
Another thing is they call deer Dia.
Oh,
like DIA.
DIA.
Yeah, DIA.
Huh. Could be another translation thing.
I feel like it's a translation thing, but he's 10, and then his birthday is September 17th, and then it's been a month since his birthday.
Oh, so you get a little bit of...
It gives a little bit of a timeline thing. That's the biggest thing. One thing that kind of sucks, which is kind of awesome at the same time, Jabber doesn't do his song and dance thing when he stabs Zonka. Like after he stabs Zonka, and he does this little...
the rap
thing. Yeah, that part doesn't happen in the manga. So funny in the anime. Yeah, I kind of wish it would have happened in the manga.
Yep, that was definitely going to be a question I was going to ask you. Googling real quick, Japanese word for dia does translate to deer, D-E, like the animal deer, or like deer as in like a person, like a D-E-A-R.
So yeah, it checks out.
Right.
Fair.
Again, this might have been something I missed. We're going to blame it on the deafness. Zodal says he made the Watchmen series.
The anime was saying that he was trying to replicate the Watchmen series.
Okay, and again, this might have been a translation thing.
Right.
In the manga, he says he made, like, I made the Watchmen series. And then he was trying to continue it, which there's some, like, questioning things that happens because he talks again about how he tried to replicate some other things. So I'm wondering if it was just a mistranslation here. I don't know. The manga said I made the Watchmen series.
Interesting. I wonder if that got missed in the anime itself, because that'd be kind of a wild like addition to everything. Especially with how fast like he appeared in the anime.
Well, it also comes into like, so how old is he? We get the Watchman that is essentially watching between the two, the ground and the sphere. So you've got a lot of questions when it comes to what is the Watchmen series.
Exactly.
So if he made it, does that mean he's like hundreds or thousands of years old? It creates a lot of questions.
Also makes me wonder, well, like, what's his vital instrument? Because like I don't think we've seen that in the anime.
Well, he's wearing the jacket.
He does, yeah. He does have the jacket, so we can say that at the least.
Yeah.
That's true.
But we can dive into him a little bit deeper when we talk about characters in a minute.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. One thing that kind of sucks is you don't see Rudo's nail hitting the second nail, or like the first nail.
Oh, really?
So you see him do the hand motion and it fire, and then you just kind of see it obliterate.
Like the wall behind the flying trash beast.
So Bundus has his stuff explode, and then it hits the wall of the trash beast. Okay. So it doesn't hit the extra nail. Again, this is added detail that the anime kind of gets that the manga doesn't.
Yeah, for like added dramatic effect.
Yep. In my notes, I put Spirit Gun double.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is something I just want to make sure that it is pointed out. The Watchman is essentially the guardian between the two. It's something I missed on my
worlds.
the two worlds. It's something I missed on my first watch through that I just wanted to make sure I make sure to say that if anybody's listening, hey, Watchman, that is who is between the two worlds.
Right. And that was this giant ass fucking creature that appeared in the distance when Noerd, the blonde electric haired lady, got sucked out of the trash beast at the final couple episodes. And she saw this monster. And when she got spaghettified, she was saying in her final words, like, this is the Watchman. He's absorbing all of the vital instruments and whatever, blah, blah, blah. So, right now we are to assume that there is a creature between the two worlds.
Yep.
Somehow. Like, I can only imagine that, like, for as much as they've traveled on the ground floor, you'd think you'd see some giant fucking creature, but, like, just so many goddamn questions.
Absolutely. Yep. And then the last thing that I've got, you don't see Rudo grabbing the boots. You kind of see him noticing that they're there. And then the next panel, they're in his arm.
Really? That's how the manga did it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be so annoyed. Like, what happens in between these two panels? Okay, so obviously the anime does justice there.
100%.
That's a plus side of the anime is like they can do those transition, like the transition between each panel a little bit better, you know?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, is it a big deal? No. If you were only reading the manga, you would kind of infer, just be like, oh, yep, he got him. Cool. Yay. Mm-hmm. And just kind of go on about your business.
Yep.
So not a big deal, but that's all I got. That's not too many differences.
Honestly, not too bad. No.
And for a season 1 anime that does 24 episodes in their first season, I would imagine that most of the time they are pretty goddamn true to the manga. So it's not too much of a surprise that like it's cut and paste at this point.
Makes me curious if that's going to change at all, like throughout like season 2, or if it gets continued on to like season 3. I'm not sure how many chapters there are in the manga itself, or even if it's been completed yet.
Manga is still ongoing. Give me 1 moment and I can let you know how many total chapters there are.
Quick Google search.
160.
Okay, so we left off at 70-something, and we're twice as far manga chapters-wise, so we got a shit ton of content to go.
87, so we're about halfway there.
Oh, I thought you said 70-something.
No, 87.
Okay, so we've covered about half of the current chapters as of today.
Correct.
Now, Matt, do you think, like, this anime benefits from having the anime adaptation, or do you think it would still be kind of relatively successful with just the manga?
It was very highly anticipated. There was a lot of excitement for it. I know that some of the talk has been that the estimation is between 300 to 500 chapters total. So the assumption from, the internet is that we're really not that far into it, and we've only kind of really grasped at what the series is going to be. Like
what the overall environment that's being built is kind of about and stuff? Or?
The environment's pretty much there, but a lot of the questions that have been brought up, especially in like season 1, from what people are saying is that none of the answers are there. So we don't know really anything about the Watchmen series. We don't know much about Zodal, and we don't know really a lot about Rudo's backstory. I'm only on part of chapter 88, so I don't know like what happens in the future. But from what the internet's saying is that a lot of the information that we're looking for as far as like backstory is concerned, we don't have that information.
Yeah, and I guess the what I meant to ask was like, do you think, well, instead of environment, I meant to more or less kind of talk about like lore, like that kind of thing.
Okay.
But my original question, like, do you think that the manga would hold up without the anime? Like, do you think it would be as popular as it is, or
obviously
like the hype was kind of...
The anime always helps boost the hype when it comes to an anime, to a manga, but it's not solo leveling type hype, but it was very, like, when people heard about it, they were very excited. I think the anime has kind of boosted the popularity as far as Gatchiakuta, but from kind of what it seems like, it is, like, if it never got an anime, it would still do pretty well by itself.
Sure. I mean, I'd agree with that. It was just a question that I kind of like was thinking of. Yeah, especially not having read the manga and only watching the anime. Like, obviously, anime is completely different when you get to watch it and experience it as like a full visual experience versus having to read it, go from like panel to panel.
Yep.
It's obviously quite different. But yeah, I was just curious if you think it would like hold up, because some mangas are insane. Some people would say that like manga of X anime is better than the other, manga is better than the anime itself. But
I will say the art is very well done. The mangaka did a fantastic job as far as like the background, the foreground, and then the character designs. Fantastic. Everything is so well done in that aspect, and then the anime just kind of brings it to life. So they did a very good job of kind of blending the manga and then making it into an anime.
Okay, I respect that.
Yeah, just because it is basically a cut and paste doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that the original source was just so goddamn good that they just stuck with it, and they didn't need to do much to it.
Yeah, like I said, pretty much all they did was kind of they added in aspects in which it was easy to
refer from.
Yeah, exactly. Where you're not changing anything, you're just expanding on the information that we already have.
Mm-hmm.
With the manga too, like, how was the pacing in the beginning? Like,
Pacing was almost verbatim
with the anime?
Yeah,
like as far as going into the trash domain, essentially. Okay.
Yeah, it started off almost the exact same way. Rudo is in the sphere, and then all that stuff happens, and then he gets exiled, is probably the best way to put it, into the trash, and then all of that stuff happens.
Yeah, because I know, like, in our previous episode when we were talking about like Vinland Saga and stuff, you had talked about how like the manga started with the flashback. So I was curious if, something similar had happened with this one.
Yeah, no, this was almost verbatim. Episode 1, chapter 1 through, we'll say like 1 through 4 or something like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was good. It was really, really good. Anybody who is interested in a manga, this is a good one to read, because the artwork is so well done. The mangaka did a fantastic job. For anybody who hasn't really paid any attention to like the mangaka interviews, she talks about how she got a lot of inspiration from Fire Force. So if that is not something you as a listener have watched Fire Force, and then you're going to see the similarities between, as far as like facial expressions are concerned. There's a lot of inspiration from Fire Force in Gatchiakuta as far as the characters are concerned.
And Soul Eater by extension then, huh?
Yes, because Fire Force and Soul Eater are made by the same person.
Okay. And then this person that you're talking about, was she ever a part of those two animes at all, or?
I think she was an apprentice of the mangaka for Soul Eater, but I don't think she ever was a part of anything as far as those two were concerned.
Okay. So like potentially a part of Soul Eater, but not Fire Force?
No, it would definitely be Fire Force, only because Fire Force came after Soul Eater.
Gotcha. Okay.
Especially in like the facial features, very, very similar.
Yeah, no, you can definitely tell like there is quite a bit of similarity as far as like art style to an extent.
Very much so.
So before we get any kind of topics officially started, I came across something that caught my eye in this character sheet, and it blew my fucking mind. Now,
I probably have an answer for it, but that's fine.
What does the choker collars that everybody infused their blood in, what does your memory tell you of all that?
I got two things, but John, I'll let you go.
Not my kink. Choker collars infused with what did you say?
The blood. So earlier in the series, they mentioned that the blood allows them to communicate between each other.
Oh, yeah, yep.
But there was something towards the end of the first season that somebody said, and that kind of stuck with me. And now that I'm looking at it, I have many more questions. Matt, what is your brain telling you right now?
Okay, so Zolda, right?
The bad guy leader?
Zold Yol. Yes, the bad guy leader, the creator of the Watchmen series,
Zodal. He
talks about how it is another aspect of the Watchmen series. It is somebody who is Jinkle?
Someone who can create weapons? Or someone's special, whatever the term is.
It is essentially somebody's gift that is the chokers that allows them to talk to each other.
Right.
So it's like another version of a vital instrument.
Correct.
Now that's interesting because then how can...
But it's through the power of the Watchmen series.
Yeah.
Is that confirmed?
That is what he says. Yes.
Okay.
So now, does that mean that like... Well, I guess they're all givers, the ones that are using the chokers, but...
Yep.
What...
I don't think being a giver necessitates being able to use the chokers.
No,
that's where I'm confused because I'm wondering if just a normal person could put that choker on and be able to communicate. Because if that's the case, then you have vital instruments that can be used by.
It's unnecessary. It's more like an attachment for somebody. And let's be honest, unless you have a vital instrument, you don't need it because you only care about yourself.
See, now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because near the end of the first season, the bad guys made a comment that somebody out there is making the collars.
Yep.
And when they said that, it seemed like a question mark, like they had no idea what was going on.
No, Zodal basically tells Bundus that his next assignment is to find the individual who is creating the collars.
Okay.
And for clarification, this is in the anime, not the manga?
Correct.
Okay.
All of that still kind of goes together with what I'm going to point out.
Okay.
So going through this character list, almost everybody is wearing a collar. And I did just confirm this a minute ago, rewatching episode 20. And Bundus, the old man with the arms, he is wearing a collar in the anime.
Correct.
Much like this character sheet that I'm looking at. Everybody's wearing a collar. So the question about where the origin of this collar maker is coming from is bringing a big question in my mind, because why are our heroes and these villains all wearing collars and nobody has an idea of like who's making them?
See, everybody wearing chokers just brings me back to middle school again. So,
the cleaners know what the purpose of the collars are. I think Zodal knows what the purpose of the collar is, and everybody else is kind of under him. Mm-hmm. And he told them, wear this, put my blood into it. We'll communicate with each other. And that's as far as they need to know.
Right. But that's perfectly acceptable. I just wanted to point out, like, this hasn't been explained in the first season of like the choker collars being just our heroes and not for everyone in general.
Correct.
Because, well, it's really hard to see Fu because he's wearing such heavy neck gear. And the reason it caught my attention specifically is because Zanka, he's also wearing like a high like turtleneck kind of like collar kind of thing.
He wears it on his arm.
Oh, it's on his arm? Okay, that
Yeah.
might explain that part. But yeah, so Zanka caught my attention because everyone has a clear picture of the choker on their neck, but Zanka doesn't have it on his neck. And then I noticed that all of the villains also have a choker. So somebody's out there just
Mass-producing this?
dealing them out. And
Yeah.
I just, the way the season 1 ended, I assumed it was just for our side, not for everybody. So that's interesting.
That is a good point because they definitely never touched into like multiple groups of people having that quote unquote technology. It was really only ever like kind of explained with the cleaners, not the
Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders. So that's interesting.
Yep.
So yeah, that just caught my attention right out of the blue, right as we're starting everything. So I just wanted to bring this to everybody's attention. So these collars are going to be interesting. Of course, obviously, the only people that can connect with each other are the people who shared blood. So it's not like there's going to be any kind of crisscross. Not to say that there can be any kind of like double agents or something that can happen, because that's very possible. But, there's possibilities out there.
Yep. Yep.
Definitely something to think about or to keep an eye on, especially after like maybe season 3 starts, or sorry, season 2. I'm not sure if I'm still stuck on Vinland Saga. I'm not sure if it becomes like a focal point or like a topic talked about in the anime, but that could be interesting. They could definitely go quite a few different directions, especially with like kind of that semi post-apocalyptic kind of like setting that they have going on with all the trash everywhere. That could be kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's a necessary tool. I mean, that's what made humanity grow fast, is instant communication. So
yeah,
obviously it's going to be important. I wouldn't look past these chokers of being anything less than just a stupid tool.
Especially if they're talked about in like the terms of like a vital instrument or anything like that. If they're like compared to that because they are an object that has a power. But then again, also, kind of watching the anime, they also have like maybe it's a power that's being pushed onto that object. Because there was a whole part where they went to that one specific city to receive the power of the artist to protect them
the
from
protection sketch, whatever. Yeah.
Canvas Town.
Canvas Town. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that was like the power of that specific person and their vital instrument able to, impose that onto other people, especially in like a mass kind of, instance. I wonder if that's something that could be like, I wonder if that's somebody's like the power of somebody's vital instrument that's applying it to those chokers.
Right. Yeah. Why not? And this power is only going to last as long as that individual will survive, that I can see. So maybe there's going to be like some kind of war kind of thing going on, and they'll be like, okay, well, now we have to go to the extreme, kill this guy, kill communications all around, and then we just do, I don't know, some form of guerrilla warfare or something like that. I don't know, just some kind of extreme. Like if we really want to cut off something so vital like communication, we can go that route. I don't know.
Well, I also wonder too, like if it's something that's like passed down, kind of like how the artist, does with like the paintbrush and everything. Like if it's something that's passed down between, like from master to apprentice, like I said, with the paintbrush thing, or if it's just one specific person's power. Like if they, maybe there's like a blackout period where like they, take out that person and then now there's no communication, or if that's, if it's
just a form of
down.
chaos.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we did have in the Trash Beast.
True.
Inside, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because they weren't able to communicate with one another.
Like
Correct.
basically until it took flight, which is weird.
Yeah.
What if that person's in the sphere?
Could be the
Because
sphere.
there's a lot we don't know about the sphere yet.
So many things we don't know.
Yep.
But before we start talking about things we don't know, sorry, I just had to get that out of.
Yeah, no,
out of
you
my
got me
chamber.
in conspiracy theory mode.
Yeah, right. Let's talk about just characters in general. What were your guys' number one favorite character?
You guys go first. I can't.
Oh man, I'm super interested in Tamesy. He's the guy with the ropes.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. The one
Like
with
in the
hat.
car scene?
No. He had the arms. Oh, not Bro. Bro had the
guy who's driving the car down the. Okay,
Yeah,
not that guy. The
Tamesy was the one.
chains.
Yeah,
Okay.
the one who basically saved them from Amo.
Yeah, he had all the crazy hair folded up top.
Yep. I thought he was really kind of cool looking. We didn't really get anything about him, so I'm just really curious about him.
Yeah, that's totally fair. He's just a random character. We knew a little bit about, like, we got obviously viewed of him, and then he joined us in a mission, and then he pulls out this badass stuff, and then like he just controlled the situation.
Yep.
So yeah, he was definitely awesome.
Yep. Lance, what about you?
I'm so goddamn torn between so many people because
I feel that 100%.
so many people were so amazing. I can go off of looks. Like, I just want to say Engine, like, his character design is just 100% badass. I love his character design.
100%. Yep.
Especially when you first get introduced to him.
Mm-hmm.
When Rudo first sees a trash beast, and he comes in with the mask, he's got the umbrella, he's like doing the whole thing. Yeah.
He is right up there. He's so goddamn tied, but I kind of want to go on the Joker side and just go with Jabber. Jabber was so insanely entertaining the entire time. I loved his tweaky, druggy kind of personality and how I'm just going to go back to entertaining. He was just so fun to watch. Made me laugh multiple times, especially when he was laying down next to Zanka when he was going through his hallucination, and he just sat down and laughed his ass off with him. Like, this dude is just fucking crazy, and it just reminds me of the Joker. I love the Joker, so I do gravitate towards him because of that part. So I kind of want to just pick Jabber for now. Engine's right there. I love Engine, but right now I'm gonna go Jabber for the entertainment value.
Fair. I'm like a main character kind of person. I love Rudo as a character only because, I mean, hey, like we talked about it in past episodes. Like, my favorite character, I'll talk about Vinland Saga even though it's not that episode, but the whole revenge aspect, he's like he gets into that mindset where, you know, he got alienated and cast out by what he thought was like his home, the whole sphere thing, and then he's like, you know what, I'm coming after you guys. We're like, I don't like you, we're gonna figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, like, it's a hard decision. I'm like you, like, I'm torn between multiple different characters. There's so many, like, really not just well designed characters, but in terms of the attitude of some of them, the how they talk, like, just everything about them. There's some characters where I was really taken aback by and kind of honestly fell in love with. Like, one of the main ones was Semiyu,
Like the clerical worker.
Yeah,
like I think that was her job title or some sort of, like, yeah, just something like that.
Yeah, she's like the receptionist
Mm-hmm.
for the cleaners. Obviously, that chick is gonna be a badass.
Yep.
Like, they talk about how strong she is, but she's just like, no, I want to do paperwork.
Yep.
Like, there's so many characters that have, like, personality, and I think that's what's really great about this anime is that you're not tied to one specific character. Everybody has their own kind of like quirk, and they're all interesting in their own right. But, like, I mean, I loved her as a character. I loved another one was Fu. Like, he's just funny to me. Like, the whole, like, why won't you fight me? Like I'm asking you to fight me, and then Engine's just like, oh, you know, like getting into it and everything, and then he's just like, yeah, no, we're not gonna fight, and then walks away, and then Fu's like, why?
Yeah.
You know,
a big part of Fu, I don't know, his bitchiness basically just reminded me so much of, like, Deku. Like,
yeah,
his whining put me at Deku level, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, Fu's a bad character, because obviously he's super interesting because of what we've learned at the end of the season.
Yeah, I just like that there's, like, an actual quirk about him, right? Like, he can't do something.
He's being held back.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I can't wait to see what he can actually do, because I feel like he's probably going to surprise the hell out of all of us.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be too surprised if Fu turns out to be one of the strongest opponents that we're going to come across.
Yeah, he just has this like detrimental thing where like he can't actually go all out, or he can't actually fight somebody unless he's like given permission, quote unquote, or whatever the case is. But yeah, like Fu's super interesting. Like I want to know more about him. I mean, like the antagonist, Zodal, like obviously he's just kind of like your cut and dry antagonist. Like I'm edgy, I do this, I want, I have all these plans. Sure, like I want to know what your plans are, bro, but at the same time, like, I mean, there's certain things, like especially after hearing Matt talk about the Watchmen series, I want to know more about that now. Engine, like you said, great character design, love that guy. I think the umbrella is like a really unique choice. Honestly, everybody's vital instruments have been super unique. Not one is just like, like, oh, I've got a dagger, or like, oh, I've got a sword,
Right.
Like it's not like
It's just a random everyday use piece of item.
Yeah, like they do a really good job of like making those things unique and then actually making the powers make sense for the item. So I like that about everything. But I like Zonka too, like his whole backstory with having like thinking that he was going to be the GOAT by picking a stick because, he was trying to show off, and then he ends up picking the worst object on the table, the thing that wasn't even supposed to be on the table.
Right.
And, now he's like kind of in that situation where he's got like he loves this stick and that's his vital instrument. But, Zonka as a character too, I like, especially the whole plunger thing, like the whole poo thing. I died laughing.
Episode 2, right off the bat, we got to go into poop jokes. Fucking hilarious.
Oh, fantastic. Sprinkler head guy. Why can't I think of his name?
Delman.
Yeah, Delman. Like his story, tragic.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got his wife, he's trying to be a gardener. Like he's just trying to, raise some plants and stuff. And now he's got a vital instrument because like that's what, like, I love that. I love the backstory of everyone, honestly. Like it's really cool how they tie in every character with their vital instrument. They give them a background that makes sense. Like things like that are really cool.
Yeah, like how do you take a garden hose and make that badass? And
yeah,
Delman does that.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like, but like I said, what's cooler about it too is like they actually create a background for the character that makes sense as to why their vital instrument is their vital instrument. So I really like that. But then, and then there's Jabber. Like Jabber's another one of those characters, like you said, where he's just kind of interesting, but one of the, with how crazy he is and everything. But honestly, what caught me off guard and kind of made him catch my attention so much was just like in the dubbed version, if like the listeners listen or watch the dubbed version as well, the language that he uses is just like new age slang. And I find it so funny every time I hear it. So just like everything that he says was like making me laugh every time you come on the screen, but he would just make like, he would do, the Joker shit, like the stuff that, was crazy or, like, and then not only that, but like his whole power, it makes sense. He's trying to make people hallucinate. He's trying to like mess with people's psyche. He's like, it just fits him as a character.
One of my favorite lines, why I refer to him as like a tweaker of some sort, is because he kind of reminds me of one of my cousins, because, he went down the wrong road and he would act the same way that my cousin would act. So I knew he would, like, obviously it's drug related. But like, there was this one moment where Jabber's walking off with Zonka's like unconscious body, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go carry off this mission. I'm gonna do it like a boss. And I'm like, fucking A, that was so funny.
Then that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like just like the new age slang, like in the dubbed version, he talks like how somebody that I would have worked with, 3 years ago would have talked. And it makes me laugh every time. One character though that I'd like just completely was kind of thrown off by, didn't expect at all, was Rio. Like, yeah. I'm sure you guys got a lot to say about her too, but she definitely caught me off guard too. And I don't know if you guys want to take a minute to talk about her, but to answer your question, because again, I'm known for
Yeah,
fucking...
what's your favorite character?
Yeah, going on long-ass tangents. It's hard because I love all of them so much.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to pick one, probably Zanka. I just like the quirkiness of him. He hates poop.
Weird.
He was the first character to make me laugh like in the anime, and I think that was kind of like a nice, change of pace. Plus just like his whole backstory with, him picking the worst weapon on the table, even though he thought it was going to be the best because, reverse psychology. So he's like got this overthinking kind of mindset. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I like him as a character. I think he's really cool. He's interesting, especially with the whole fight with Jabber and like how he kind of like pushed himself, and like I really enjoyed him as a character and like the fight scenes with him. I like his powers and everything too. So
yep, Zanka was definitely amazing. We got to see how cocky he was in his origin, and then how humbled he got so goddamn quick. So we got to see, like, we know that he is always trying to better himself, and that's what makes him such an amazing character, because he's great because he's constantly trying hard. And in his backstory, he made a mention that like he's gonna get to that throne without breaking a sweat. But then when that episode started, like, we saw him doing sit-ups and everything. Like, he was the one putting in extra work and all that stuff. Like, behind the scenes, he was doing the work, but in front of his peers, he was, just a natural, like he kept saying.
Yeah, it's almost like he wanted to put on that facade of innate talent versus hard work. Like, there's that whole age-old thing, But yeah, it's almost like he wanted to put on the facade of that. Like, he has all of this natural talent. Like, that's just him. That's how he performs. That's how he does things. But like, yeah, behind the scenes, he's like, I need to be better. Like, this is what I have to do in order to be this kind of person. And I mean, hey, like, I connect with that. Like, there's...
Yep, for sure. He was making the comments like, he's the biggest fake trying to be better than the other fakes, and he just came to the realization that, I don't know, through us watchers, everybody's a fake. You gotta fake it till you make it, kind of thing. I don't know. But the biggest thing that I got pulled away from Zanka's past was that blonde chick from the lower end or whatever, wherever she came from. I think her name was Hio.
The dagger, the chick,
the one who
beat him,
the one who came into class and just started fucking wrecking everybody. Yep. Obviously, she's a big interest because she was supposed to be this nobody, and all of a sudden, she's pulling one up on everybody, including class rep Zanka. So I want to know more about her, and I do have a small idea on who she might be, and that I haven't made any kind of like in-depth connection. Like, I haven't like clicked on character sheets. I'm not trying to like cheat myself, but right now I'm kind of thinking that Hio chick was that redhead chick from the blood from the final 2 episodes. Like, I think she's the one running all the shit.
Interesting. You're just saying Rio, like the redhead chick?
No.
Oh,
Hio.
Sorry,
the blonde chick from Zanka's past.
Sorry, I'm listening to you with my eyes closed.
Obviously she had to have rose in ranks. So I think she made something of herself, and I think she rose to that rank and then just colored her hair red or something. I want to believe that that's the same character.
That could be interesting.
I'm not necessarily saying, like, I'm going to put all my money on that, but I wouldn't be surprised if that is the same character.
Okay. That'd be kind of a cool little, like, plot twist if they did throw that in there and, like, spun it around like that. That'd be kind of cool.
I know they brought in... Obviously, there's the connection with the Helgard kind of background that they both come from, or that all of this that we're talking about is coming from, but I don't remember the redhead girl being named specifically, and I'm not seeing it on this character sheet right now, and I didn't put it in my notes because we were watching in Japanese, and I'm paying more attention to reading and watching than watching and taking notes at the same time. It's a little bit more difficult. I'm not trying to pause during my workout and
that could be something I go back and review.
Right.
Might have to look into that a little bit. Only because I'm a stickler for knowledge. Like, that might bother me for a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. 2 other characters that caught my attention were from Team Child. Deer and Gita. Bro was fine. He was a a great father figure to Team Child. But Deer and Gita are definitely goddamn interesting. Deer being the one who can basically increase his power the more times he punches something or taps the ground or whatever. Everything gets stronger and stronger. So that's super cool.
Yeah, like the constant buildup of energy or force.
Which made it a little bit interesting because when everyone was when Fu was complaining that the earthquake inside the trash beast was happening, and he's like, oh, please, Zodal, don't give me this warning that I need to hurry myself up. It could have been the confusion between the trash beast moving, or it could have been Deer tapping his foot that entire time, because the more he tapped his foot, he was literally causing that earthquake too. So
yeah,
we can't necessarily pinpoint exactly where all this movement's coming from, because honestly, it could have been either of them. I do want to put more of the blame on Deer because we did get fully explained that he was causing a natural destruction or whatever from Bro and whatever. But so that was...
Well, they also don't explain the timeline of things either. It very well could have been hey, we're showing this scene, Deer's punching the wall, and then it cuts to Fu talking at the same time. That's not exactly explained, so that definitely could be the case.
Oh yeah, timelines could have been a little bit crisscrossed. The way that the anime was kind of showing it was all the earthquake was happening, and then at the very end we got Deer tapping his foot, which kind of felt like the actual answer at the end. That's the way I took it.
Honestly, that's kind of a cheat code too with his power.
Mm-hmm.
What if you're just standing there fucking snapping your fingers the entire time, and then all of a sudden you just have a ton of power built up in your middle finger, flick somebody and they're done, or tapping their foot. Just now you've been tapping your foot for an hour, you just one shot somebody with a kick. That'd be kind of cool.
Even that, I was just thinking the entire time, with Deer, the longer a battle will continue, the more of the upper hand he has, because say he's going blow for blow with somebody, his attacks are only going to get stronger and stronger.
Yeah. At the same time, though, I don't know how long he would actually last in a fight, depending on who he's fighting.
Yeah,
because you have
depend on stamina at that point.
Yeah, I mean, he also is depicted as a baby.
That too.
He has the pacifier and everything, and
it's just
it's
quirky
anime. I'm sure he could probably tank a hit or two, but
right. You can only imagine what's going to happen 5-10 years down the future with Deer, because he's a child right now. What is he, 10 or 12 years old?
Yeah, he can't be that old.
One of those two. I don't remember if it was 10 or if it was 12, but it was one of those two. They did make that kind of comment.
Yeah. I mean, I had my pacifier that long too, so.
But Gita, on the other hand, continuing with Team Child, Gita and her kaiju power, didn't see that coming at all. I knew she was wearing that giant onesie. I thought, she was just a child and she wanted to be childish with that, but just being obsessed with monsters, and then not only controlling how big she can get, because they told her to go level 3 or level 4 or something like that, and then she did what she did, and that was amazing as it was. I only want to see more come out of her. I want to see her go all out. What does her max look like? What does her max do? What happens when she goes out of control? Because it had to have happened in the past, because the cleaners knew about this and Engine told her how far to go. Yeah. So I'd like to see the back story come out of that one.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly what I meant before too, when we were talking about the our favorite characters, is every character has their own unique backstory, right? And then their vital instruments tie into their backstory. I mean, which makes sense given the power structure of the anime, and just how everybody has what makes them strong. And then not only that, but just how unique everything is. We're talking about a monster costume, or a sprinkler head, or a pair of gloves, pair of boots, or just random items, everyday things that which I think is really cool too, because these are things that most people do have sentimental value for, random objects. I myself, I carry around a pair of dog tags from a pair or a previous pet of mine, right? So it's kind of cool to see how these different vital instruments tie into their backstories, how they developed, how they give them powers, how everything ties in with them as a character, and then everything is also unique. It's not, anything that's something that you've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, this is a knife, or this is, like I said, a sword, or hey, like I've got this shield, like, this was my grandfather's or whatever. Like, no, we're talking about garden hose heads. We're talking about umbrellas, boots, like, glass. Isn't the secretary's
Semi-used wearing a pair of glasses.
Yeah, I would assume that her vital instrument is her pair of glasses, which actually I don't think was stated in the anime, was it?
I don't know if it was stated like verbatim, but when she was using her powers, she did touch her glasses and they glowed.
Yeah.
So there was that.
So it's probably implied, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, little things like that. It's just like random everyday objects that people have sentimental value for that gives them extra powers, and I think that that's honestly just cool in general.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of an interesting power structure.
Yeah, and it'll give all the watchers kind of like a little pep to their step or something like that. Like if they hold on to something so sentimental to them, that might mean nothing to literally anybody else. Like, yeah, something that might seem useless means so much to somebody.
Yeah.
So that's good for them.
And I think an idea like this is nothing to sleep on. It's pretty interesting. Like it's definitely different from everybody else, or like all the other animes that we've seen.
The concept of this world, the garbage world, threw me off because when we kind of entered this world, I kind of assumed it was kind of like post-apocalyptic. Nothing was going to come from this. Everything was going to be a complete disaster. But as we learn more and more about everybody's like history, it almost seems like there's like hierarchies. Like when we talk about like Zanka, like he grew up in like this really nice area, had running water. It seemed relatively normal. And then only knowing that that was just a handful of years ago, it kind of contradicts your initial idea of like, this is a forsaken ground and everything is complete destruction. But there's pockets of
civilization,
literal, yeah, like semi-normal civilization that just you wouldn't expect, I guess I can say.
Yeah.
So it is weird.
I do find the contrast between like the sphere and then the surface world, the trash world, to be kind of interesting because like if you wanted to go deep into it, you could think of it like the surface world actually showing more humanity than the spherites.
Sure.
Like it is kind of interesting because like you have these people that are, it's more relatable being on the surface, the quote unquote trash world, than it is the spherite world, because like they're all higher living, like they have their set rules. Yes, they have their like slums and stuff, but when you get down onto the surface and like you hear people talk to one another, like even in the first couple episodes when Rudo is first introduced to like he meets Engine, and then Engine takes him to that little area. He meets the I don't want to call them like, I guess you could call them like ruffians or whatever, like the group of guys that make them eat garbage, tie them up and stuff. Like even those guys talking to one another, you kind of get like a sense of just normal behavior, like normal human behavior, versus like the spherites. The spherites all seemed weird, judgmental, like, I'm holier than thou, like I'm up above, ironically. But yeah. You get a little bit more humanity from the people on the surface world.
Another thing that this anime can play with the spherites is they might be in their own floating globe kind of thing, but what happens when they run out of resources? Because you can only hold on to so much, and if they're throwing away so much, how are they going to replenish everything? So I wonder if that could be a topic that they can run into.
Yeah, very true. I mean, we don't know how like they produce any of their goods, like especially in like the inner city, because we didn't see a whole lot of that. It was mainly like the first 5 minutes of the first episode when Rudo was rummaging through their trash. We don't know how they produce like their stuffed animals like Rudo had saved for the girl that he liked, or the random other knickknacks and stuff like that, or just in general like food. Anything else, like we don't know how they come across any of their stuff. So yeah, that could be interesting. Maybe there's like a specific place that they touch down and then they go and like replenish, maybe once every so many years. I don't know, like that could be interesting. Maybe that's how Rudo finally gets onto the sphere.
Yeah, we know that there's a consistency in the revolution of the sphere to the ground because every 6 years that big storm hits, which is what we found out about the trash beast trying to fly through the barrier.
Yeah.
So there is like a reliable, consistent timeline to some degree.
Yeah, that could potentially correlate with, maybe the sphere actually touching ground, which could be interesting. Again, conspiracy theories. But.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder how big is the sphere supposed to actually be? We can imagine that it's self-sustainable, but like if they're so on high, how sustainable is that?
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't have to dive into it too much more.
I know. I'd dive into this like, honestly, I could dive into it like REM sleep at this point, but.
I want to jump back into Fu. We did touch on him a little bit, but just obviously we know that he's got a second personality to him. He's this wimpy little dude, but he's talking to this little pocket doll that he has that is like the voice of reason for him. He managed to escape the collapsing, falling trash beast that we saw him alive and well in the final 2 episodes. I cannot wait to see what his alter ego is. I want to see him be a complete badass. I can only imagine what his
I believe he's
is.
gonna be. I believe he's gonna be.
Oh yeah.
You can't have a character that like has something that holds him back so much. Like, I mean, very clearly we saw like with him and Engine where like Engine just refused to fight him and he couldn't do anything. Like he couldn't just walk up to him and just start attacking him. Like he had to have permission. Like there's something about him that like, whether it's like a specific code or whatever it is that he follows, and so on and so forth, like you could probably call it 100 different things, but there's something that holds him back from engaging in any sort of violence. But when he does, I can only imagine that guy is like on a whole different world, because why would they take somebody like that and make them a part or have them trying out to be part of the Raiders? Like why would you have that person there if they don't have something unique about them? Especially after seeing someone like the multi-arm, why can't I think of his name? Yes, Bundus. Especially having someone like him, because I feel like he's got kind of like a broken ass vital instrument. I mean, like, he's got a vital instrument that he can replicate into multiple different objects. And then when it gets destroyed, he can repair itself.
The Bundes?
Yeah. Yeah, because
back to his...
Because he has his prosthetic arm.
Prosthetic, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Yeah, he has his prosthetic arm, and then, like, because he's had multiple prosthetic arms throughout his life or whatever, he can use each one as a vital instrument, or at least an extension of his vital instrument. But they all use pieces from his original prosthetic arm. So because of that, he can repair each vital instrument, or like the extension of his vital instrument. And I think that's kind of busted. That's kind of wild. I mean, like, yeah, he's not doing anything super special with his arms. They're floating. He can block shit. He's super strong. Like, like everything like that. But like that alone, I think is super, super special, right? So, you have a guy like that who has, such a uniqueness about him, such of a kind of like a, I don't want to say like a crutch, but like kind of like a cheat code when it comes to vital instruments, because like his can't be destroyed theoretically. I'm sure there's a way to destroy it, but like.
Right. Yeah, because as long as pieces remain, he's able to rebuild it.
Yep. But because he has that like unique attribute about his vital instrument, I can only imagine that like, Fu he's got to be hiding something.
I can imagine that his vital instrument is going to be that pocket doll that he carries. I would like to also imagine that once that activates, I think that'll be like some kind of like Power Ranger kind of transformation that he kind of like it takes over his body, and then he just becomes this super powered demonic kind of like guy, and he just goes and wrecks shit. That's what I would like to imagine coming out of him.
That'd be cool. I wonder if it's almost like voodoo-esque, where like he can, like, if he pulls that doll out, he can like do whatever he wants to the doll, and then
maybe. I can see where you're going with that. You'd have to be pretty colorful with instances where that would happen.
Yeah. Like, what if he's just got like this, like he has this, I can't engage in violence without permission because he's like such a violent kid. Like, what if he has like that, like messed up, like I need to like do these dark, type things or whatever. He was told he needed to have permission to do so. And then like the vital instrument, the doll is what I don't know. I wonder if that's like something.
One more thing about the permission kind of thing. Like his boss, Zodal, gave him permission, gave him a command to go fight, but he couldn't start the fight.
Yep.
He never threw a punch. He never did anything physical. So it's making me wonder that if Engine were to have punched him first, that would have like ignited that second personality to come forth, and then shit would have started wreaking havoc.
Sure. I guess I was kind of like chalking it up to be like permission, but yeah, you're right. He did say like, because he did have permission to go and fight, he just didn't get the invitation, I guess,
from Engine, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting to think
about. Go both ways.
Yeah.
One more thing about Fu that I would like to imagine for the future is I think he'll be like a fake kind of double agent kind of guy, where this nice personality, this nice isn't necessarily the word I'm trying to look for, but I think because of the way he is now, he'll come to be on good terms with the cleaners to a degree, and like he'll play along for a little bit, and then something will happen, and then chaos will enrage, and something will happen. But I can see Fu not necessarily infiltrating the cleaners, but like playing along with them.
Sure. I mean, he does have that like childish naivety, or however you say that.
Naivete.
Yeah. If we want to put some flair on it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, he has that to him, and I wonder if that like maybe he just ends up being gullible, to quote unquote gullible, and then he ends up teaming up with the cleaners that way. But that could be interesting too.
Yeah, I can see him going multiple ways. Yeah, he's a little bit of a wild card.
Yeah, I mean, we really don't know anything about him. Like, I mean, as with some other characters, like we didn't go into the backstory of a lot of people, but he is definitely an interesting character. One that I'm going to be keeping an eye on, especially as the story develops.
Oh, for sure. Another person we have to talk about is Regto. The adoptive, basically, father of Rudo. Obviously, to say the obvious, he came into contact with the Watchman gloves. How did he do it? Why is he so knowledgeable? Why is he so calm, cool, and collected on the sphere? He's way too sus right now.
Yeah, no, he definitely knows, or at least knew, because I mean, I wonder if he's actually even dead, for one, but B, he definitely knew a lot more than anybody on the sphere should know, especially about the surface world. So,
right. I don't want to go to the extreme and say like he was the original Watchman, but he definitely does know more than we all know. And, again, stating the obvious.
What if the Watchmen series was created on the sphere? I know we talked about the idea of Zoldal being the creator of the Watchmen due to his dialogue in the manga. But what if the Watchmen series was created on the sphere? Because like the whole idea of the Watchmen series is that they're, high quality items that have been, taken care of, cultivated into these vital instruments, and they've been imbued with, so much of that power. I wonder if like that has anything to do with the sphere itself. Like maybe those items were created with materials from the sphere. Like, is that what makes them special? Like what makes the Watchmen series special is kind of the main question. But yeah, I wonder if like they were actually created on the sphere.
That can be interesting. That's make me think now, what if the sphere itself is a vital instrument?
Potentially. Maybe that's why it's floating all the time.
Right.
But who would be controlling that vital instrument?
No idea. But I don't know if you want to get too big into physics, but like what's keeping it up and moving and that kind of stuff. Well, we can think of it as a moon, but how far do we want to get into this rabbit hole of
like theory itself? Crafting and trying to figure out what makes sense in a made up world?
Yeah. In a made up world. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's all something to keep in mind. And then the next biggest question is, who is this angel? Because obviously he has the power to go between worlds. He's been on the ground. He's the one that supposedly killed Regto. If we're going to go with this conspiracy theory that maybe he's not officially dead.
Yeah.
Is there a conspiracy that got Rudo banished from the sphere to begin with to frame a death and just in time for him to get immediately caught? Like, that shit was immediate.
What if the angel itself is a vital instrument?
The dude, the entire person?
Yeah. Because, like, we've never seen this person's face, right?
No, he's just behind that mask.
Behind the mask, fully covered in robes. Like, all we see are these wings. I'm wondering, like, what if because if we're thinking about Fu having, like, a doll as a vital instrument, what would stop somebody from having, like, a mannequin or something like that as, like, a vital instrument?
Sure. Yeah, for all we know, it could be some kid on the sphere having the imagination of combining the two worlds or something.
Or, again, conspiracy theories. What if it's Regto's vital instrument?
Huh?
And then he faked his own death. That'd be kind of wild. Faked his own death to get Rudo kicked out to the surface world.
To push him to the extreme.
Well, that or to like kind of enact to get the Watchmen series gloves down to the surface to like kind of like kickstart some sort of, game plan. I don't know. Like, evil plans are always explained towards the end, but but I mean, maybe it's part of that. Yeah, I don't know. That could be kind of interesting. I highly doubt that I'm correct here, but like, but it would be wild,
Yeah, it would be. I would not put too much money on Regto still being alive after this, but it would be a nice, interesting twist that would need a real clear answer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially because like Regto seems like one of those characters that have too much mystery about them. Like, we don't know anything about Regto, and it was clearly inferred that he knew a lot about, the surface world stuff, vital instruments, things like that, because like, especially with the way that he was talking to Rudo about the gloves, explaining to him like, hey, take care of these. These are yours, and then Rudo, I'm pretty sure it was him that told Rudo too, that like, if you put, time and energy into an item, like it gains a soul and like, becomes a part of it. I'm pretty sure he's the one that taught Rudo that.
He was, yep.
And so, I mean, like, very obviously, like, he's talking in tongues, but like, he clearly knows something about vital instruments. So yeah, like, there's definitely a big mystery about him. We don't know anything, like, as far as like who he is or why he knows these things or why he's trying to teach that to Rudo. So yeah, I just wonder if like he's going to play a bigger...
That could have been why he was assassinated to begin with, because maybe he was part of some original cult that was part of the Watchmen series, and he got away. He ran away with one of the pieces, and it just caught up to him. He got found, and that's the Watchmen's way of trying to quiet a situation.
Yeah, good point. Because we know that the angel person had gone up there prior, right? But how far prior? Was it before Rudo was brought up there? Or like, was Rudo brought up there? That's another question. Like, was Rudo born up there on the sphere?
Yeah, that hasn't been said point blank.
Yeah. So, like, maybe Regto, Rudo's dad, and the angel all ended up on the sphere together originally. And then the events transpired, Rudo's dad became a murderer, quote unquote, or allegedly, things like that. And, I don't know. There's a lot of unexplained parts of Rudo's story that we don't know. And I guess that would tie into Regto and everybody else.
With you saying that, it's making me wonder, Rudo's obviously the main character, so we need to put a lot of thought into him. And his dad being the quote unquote murderer, who did he murder and why? It's probably going to be some form of a conspiracy towards the Watchmen series.
And not only that, but like, what if there's like, some parallels between him and Rudo too? Like, what if he was framed? What if he's not even dead? What if he got like tossed off the sphere and survived?
What if the angel is Rudo's dad?
That too? Yeah. There's so many there's so many questions, so many like possibilities. It's kind of mind wracking. that's the thing that sucks about covering season 1 of every single anime is like I sit here and I ask questions. I sit here and think, and then I end up being like 90% wrong on everything. But
it might just influence another anime series anyway.
Yeah, it's still fun to think about. It's I think that's what the best part about animes like this, especially like well-written ones. This one may not be like the best written anime that I've ever watched, but I mean, the fact that it's causing this, like the theory crafting, the like getting into the lore and like, you know, taking the time to try to think of all the different possibilities, I think that shows some decent writing.
100%. So, that's why I definitely think it's...
Yeah. Definitely wouldn't put me to sleep.
How many Watchmen series items do you think there are? Obviously, we know of the 3, the boots, the coat, the gloves. The
back of Matt's eyelids.
They definitely gave it away that it's not necessarily going to stop at these 3 items. So I would not be surprised if there's going to be a couple more. Maybe a couple more that aren't going to be as powerful. What I was thinking was much like Shield Hero. You're going to have your cardinal weapons and then you're going to have your vassal weapons. So what if there's going to be a tier list? Like you're going to have your best items are going to be the gloves, the boots, the coat, and then you're going to have a couple of vassal items like
Chinese finger traps. And
yeah, sure. Yeah, something smaller. I was going to say a pocket knife, but Chinese finger trap. Let's keep it weird and different.
I mean, hey, we're talking about like scissors, you know, umbrellas, random objects. Mm-hmm. And I mean, Chinese finger trap, that'd be kind of... I wonder how they would turn that into a power.
The first thing I'm envisioning is the finger trap growing like a giant fucking snake and like engulfing somebody or something.
Yeah. As soon as it touches you, you just like get stuck. You can't move.
Right. That's just playing with that.
Yeah. Before we get too far with that. Oh, man.
Yeah, the Watchmen series, we don't know how big it is, how expansive it is.
Yeah. I could see there being like prototypes. If the Watchmen is kind of like who they're playing him out to be, I'm sure like he had experimented prior. Or like, you know, maybe there's even like failed Watchmen series items.
Right.
Like quote unquote failed. Like they still have like unique abilities and they're still useful to an extent, but they're not as powerful as like the gloves or the boots per se. Or
right. Well, that's what I was saying. Like Shield Hero with the vassal weapon, like second tier.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
No, that could definitely. I could see that being a thing. That'd be more like a season 3 thing, if anything.
Yeah. We still have so much more to.
Yeah.
There's obviously just everything we've been questioning about the past couple of minutes is they've got so much to answer for, which makes it obviously clear that there's still 80 plus more chapters to go. So we still have a lot more to figure out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely not trying to sleep on this.
Still want to figure out why Rudo's hands are black to begin with as well. So a lot of more backstory on Rudo. We've gotten a lot of good backstory on Rudo, but obviously not everything that's...
No, not nearly as much as we would need in order to answer questions.
Mm-hmm. Well, with all this being said, I know we've been going on for quite a while. What do you expect out of the next season?
I'm hoping just for some more lore. Definitely, like, obviously, I mean, we have a ton of questions. There's things that we don't know, things that we want to know. I'm hoping that going into next season, we get to see some more like revelations, maybe some more like insight as to the overall plan of the Raiders and Zodal. I should just think of the Yodel kid or the yodeling kid every time I think of him. Anyways, the overall plan of Zodal and just kind of like his whole evil scheme. Definitely learning more about Angel. Like, I hope that we get to see a lot of that. Obviously, I want to learn more about Rudo. I want to learn more about Regto. I want to learn more about just everybody in general. I hope they can pack a lot into season 2, especially after. And I feel like season 1 was relatively successful. Mm-hmm. I hope that they can take that, you know, hype, kind of build off of it, and kind of set us up. With obviously, you know, with the way season 1 went, I hope that they can set us up with a lot more questions at the end of season 2. That's what I expect. Mm-hmm. is just more, dead ends, but while still answering some questions. And yeah, I'm hoping like we get to see a revelation of like Rudo's powers, like how, like a little bit more of an explanation on how they work. I mean, obviously we know like he can, take control of specific objects. He can do it up to 3 times. And then he can also focus all 3 of those instances into one instance to make it more powerful. Like we know that, but is he able to increase that? Like, can he go further than that? Can he do 4 and then make that, one object 4 times more powerful? Like, how does that play out?
Sure.
I have so many questions. I'm hoping that at least like 25% of them get answered. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't know what to expect, but I know what I want, So that's where I'm at.
Yep. I'm pretty much going to, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer and say like season 2 is going to be like a typical season 2 where they just do a lot of ground up building, whereas season 1 we got all of the exciting action, everything is new and fresh and exciting. And then season 2, they spend all the time just explaining everything, and it's really slow. It's really, I don't want to say political, but like everything needs to be like fully explained. We're definitely going to need a handful of backstories because we got just a taste of like Rio. So like obviously the rest of us want to know about her assassin bring up because that's very interesting. We got a good taste on Zanka. We don't know about Engine's backstory.
Yeah.
Why are there the 2 kids in this to begin with? How do they come to join?
I could definitely see a couple filler episodes about Engine and Rio.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Rio was definitely one of those ones because you can't get more iconic than a gun. Like, how are you just going to pull a gat out and, cap Jabber in the knee and then walk off and not explain why she has a gun in the first place?
Right.
Like, how a gun even exists in this, like, we have all these people that are fighting with umbrellas and shit, and she just
we got all
pulls
these,
out a 9mm.
We got all these superpowers, and then just a typical gun is the one that puts two of the guys down.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, of course, we need to know more about Corvus, the leader of the cleaners. I imagine he's got some kind of foresight ability because before Helgard came to the front doors, he already expected him. He was already doing his hair, getting ready for him before our guardian of the fortress knew that there was a barrier break.
That makes me think. I need to go back and watch and like study him as a character because does he have like a pocket watch or anything?
Nothing I've picked up on.
Because like, what if he's got like time shenanigans?
Oh, maybe he knows the future.
Yeah, like what if he can like fast forward or rewind?
Make me think of like Black Clover shit here.
That's exactly where I was going with it. Like, what if he's got like the King Julius type stuff going on?
Right. Yeah. Of course, he's a mystery, which was so nice to see that, Bundes was asking all these quote unquote mundane questions, but at the same rate, like it did raise a reality that not even the cleaners know who their boss is.
Yeah. No, at this point, I just have so many questions. I almost want to close my eyes, go to sleep during this podcast, and just dream about all the different possibilities.
Yeah, right. But yeah, there's going to be a handful of backstories. My predictions are backstories as we pursue a little bit more information about the Watchmen series. And then obviously we have to run into the Raiders again at some point. But season 2, I don't foresee anything coming to a close by any means. I think I can see this being maybe a 3-season kind of thing if we're going to continue a 24 episode series kind of deal.
Yeah.
But we are nowhere near close to 24 episodes being a closure. 30, season 3 being a 12 episode might be a little bit of a stretch, but I don't know.
See, now after like hearing you talk about the Raiders and everything too, I think I do have not an idea, but like I have a theory on like something that might come up in season 2, and we might start to see other teams from the Raiders because they did state that like all the guys that we met from the Raiders, Bundes, Fu, the static hair, the balloon, rubbing on the top of her head lady. I can't think of her name.
Norede. Yeah,
Norede. We got introduced to every single one of those guys, but they were all trying out for the Raiders.
Exactly.
So there's got to be established members. So, and we already know that like the cleaners have teams. They have, various groups that go out and go do anything like Team Child, like what are some of the other team names? I can't think, but like the cleaners have teams. Why wouldn't raiders potentially also have teams?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, we already it's been inferred that they definitely have other groups of people, because the people that we were introduced to, like I said, were trying out to be a part of the raiders. So yeah, I can only imagine we gotta be seeing some other people here
for sure
in season 2.
Yeah, and our cleaners are only originally there to take out beasts, and I would imagine keeping the peace on the ground level. And now we have this kind of evil organization trying to like make their way up to the sphere. So more information, obviously.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that is kind of where you could draw the comparison between this and Fire Force.
Mm-hmm.
Like as far as like where you can see the inspiration comes from, because like you have a group of people who not necessarily are employed, but have like a faction that they're a part of that combat against a natural occurring, I don't want to say calamity, but like threat.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but there's also a underlying, force at work. I feel like you could draw the comparison with Fire Force pretty clearly there.
Yeah, definitely makes sense.
Yeah. Like with the Infernals, and then, then you have all the other stations of Fire Force individuals. I can't think of their names. The other stations, and then all of the stuff that they got going on. I wonder if that's kind of where they got that inspiration from and how to write this story.
All right, but I think that's enough about Gatchiakuta. Before we close out today, I will continue my typical Pokemon quiz, so I hope everyone's ready for this one.
Matt, we're like 3-0, I'm pretty sure, technically.
I know we've definitely gotten 2 out of 3 out of all of them, so we've done, you and I have done pretty well together. We can say that one.
Yeah. 2 out of 3 working as a team, it definitely seems to be...
listeners, I think you should, if you've listened to any episode I've been in, I think you should go back and tally, because I think we're 3-0. I think me and Matt are like...
Yeah, I know you've hit one 3-0.
Well, yes, but I mean like overall out of all 3 previous episodes that I've been on, I think Matt and I have clean swept together. Like I may not have answered all the questions correctly. He may not have answered all the questions correctly. But together, we got the right answer for all of them. So
yeah, just might. Been a couple, but we'll see if you can do a clean sweep on this one.
Mm-hmm. Now that I said something, we're screwed.
Yes.
All right, so let's jump into Generation 2 questions. What typing is Gligar?
Poison fly.
I was going to say dragonfly.
Oh, I'm going to go poison fly. I'll go with my first answer.
Poison flying and...
I said dragon flying.
And dragon flying. You guys are both incorrect.
Was I right on my second one? Poison ground.
Flying ground is Gligar.
I could have sworn he was poison.
No, he's purple, but he's not poison. I think he knows poison sting, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's a poison type. All right. Well, there's the queen.
Good luck with the quiz, Matt. I'm out.
Question number 2. The ice type gym in Mahogany Town is Bryce. He has 3 Pokemon: Seal, Pilsner, and who is his third?
Dugong.
Fuck.
It's Dugong, 100%. Don't let me answer for you, but I know this one.
Yeah, we'll just go with that.
Going double down on Dugong?
Yeah.
All right.
He seems very confident.
You are correct with Dugong. Surprisingly enough, he didn't have a Swinub.
Yeah.
For being introduced in that generation, you'd think it'd be like Swinub, Piloswine, and like Dugong or something, but...
Yeah. No, I remember that gym very clearly because... Well, first off, the first Pokemon game I ever played was Pokemon Crystal, and that was obviously as a young kid. And trying to figure out that ice puzzle to like slide around and do everything, I hate it. Well, first that was the cave, and then then you would have to do it in the gym, and
yeah, sliding is a puzzle.
Yeah,
it was also very annoying because you'd go in there, face all these water types that are also dueling as a ice type, and like, oh yeah, I'll go in there with a thunder, and then you go against that Piloswine who's a ground type, and as your thunder attack has no ability on it, so definitely you're gonna throw your average
Yeah, see, back then I just ran in there with Feraligatr, who knew Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, and Ice Punch, and then Bite, I think was my moveset as like a kid.
Yeah.
And honestly, not bad, especially on Feraligatr. High attack stat. If you got lucky, which I might have gotten lucky back then. But yeah.
Yeah, having the multiple attributes definitely helps being a all-around fighter, which definitely helps with like today's games like ZA. You need all 4 of your attack moves need to be something different so that you're gonna be useful in any situation.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, that's correct answer for number 2. And the final answer: what level does Pineco evolve into Fortress?
It's gonna be some stupid like 40.
Matt's going 40.
38.
All right, so you guys are both high. I'll tell you it's lower.
28?
32.
All right, you guys are both wrong again, but Matt was super close. Oddly enough, the answer is 31. Such a random ass evolution. 31.
It is a random number, and I had a feeling. My third guess, I guess technically would have been 33, but
yeah,
still would have been wrong. So
it just, for whatever reason, like the number 8 was calling out to me. I wonder why I was thinking 8.
Yeah, that's gonna be the conclusion to our Pokemon quiz right there.
Damn it, Matt! You were supposed to carry me.
I tried. I'm sorry.
All right,
It's like we're freaking sleeping on all these answers.
Okay, that is going to conclude our episode today. Thank you everyone for listening to us this far. If you have, please give us a like and a follow on whatever platform you're listening to us on. If you'd like to stay updated on anime, please follow the Anime Show on Facebook and Instagram. Also, soon enough, we will be starting our season 2 of our D&D Noobs. So if you haven't already, please go listen to our first season of our shenanigans because there's going to be more to come in the future. And until next time, we'll see you.
Until next time, Matt turns a goblin into a gimp.
Have a good one.
Pretty much ready for the Pokemon quiz at this point. Any words, Matt?
Please tell me you have a drowsy question.
That was actually last time.
I'm sorry, Matt. By the way, I'm sure you'll cut this part out, but I have been throwing little jabs in the entire podcast. I can't wait for you to go back and listen to like
That was towards me.
That's fine. I deserve it.